Bonjour, bienvenue. Aujourd'hui, c'est le jeudi 25 février. Donc, les objectifs, c'est le même qu'hier, hein. Donc, pouvoir décrire une pièce chez moi, et puis identifier où se trouvait quelque chose, où se trouve un objet. Ok, donc d'abord, les enregistrements, une petite annonce, et puis l'échauffement, et puis on va s'entraîner au salon. Et enfin, chez moi, je vais vous expliquer un peu ce que vous allez faire pour mardi et enfin pour demain. Okay, so I wanted to let you all know I record class, right? I do not record your faces, I do not record your voice, but I do record class so that if folks are absent or if you just want to rewatch it, you always can. That probably doesn't appeal to a lot of you, but I know that it's a good resource to have. I especially like it because you can watch the classes on 2x speed, or you can skip to a part of the class that you want to review. So to make it a little easier for you all to access, I went ahead and put it in our Canvas course. So if you go to modules, I put a link to every video in Unit 1. That's a playlist of all the videos in Unit 1. Same thing for Unit 2. There's a playlist to all the videos in Unit 2 right there. And then finally, for Unit 3, we're still in Unit 3, but we're approaching the end. You can find them right there, all right? And if you click on it, it'll take you to the YouTube playlist that has all the lessons so far in Unit 3, all right? So I just wanted to make that easier for y'all to get to, and I hope that helps. And it's something that I would encourage y'all to do if you wanted to review something or work on pronunciation or what have you, okay? Allez. So I just wanted to let y'all know about that. So you can find those in Canvas. OK. Donc, faisons maintenant un petit échauffement. Hein? Donc, je vais vous demander de réagir. OK, so I'll ask you all to react. All right? Réagir. So get those Zoom reacts ready. OK. Et ici, qu'est-ce que c'est ici? Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça en français? What is this object? Oui, c'est une chaise. Une chaise. Et ici, qu'est-ce que c'est? Comment dit-on an armchair en français? This is part of your packet. It was part of the image activity and you had to do the matching. Qu'est-ce que c'est ici? Un canapé is a good guess. It is not un canapé, but it's a good guess. They're close. It's a strange word. OK, donc ça, c'est une chaise. Ça, c'est un fauteuil. Un fauteuil. Ça, c'est un fauteuil. It's just a one-seater. A canapé is going to seat 2 or more people. OK, donc, s'il vous plaît, hein, faites une réaction. Hein. Tu préfères étudier dans une chaise ou dans un canapé? Oui, dans un canapé. OK. Une chaise. Une chaise, OK. Donc, c'est kiff-kiff. C'est moitié-moitié. C'est 2 personnes préfèrent étudier dans une chaise, 2 personnes préfèrent étudier dans un fauteuil. D'accord. Un fauteuil est très confortable. Peut-être un peu trop confortable pour étudier. Un peu trop. Je m'endors. Ah, c'est tellement confortable. Hein, un fauteuil. Donc, je préfère une chaise, je pense. OK? Et ici, tu préfères manger ici ou ici? Et quelles sont ces deux pièces? What are these two rooms? Donc ici, qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est quelle pièce ici? Ou peut-être ici, c'est plus simple. Ici, à droite. À droite. C'est quelle pièce, déjà? Très bien. Donc, tu préfères manger dans la salle à manger ou dans la cuisine? Tu préfères manger dans la salle à manger, vous pouvez faire A, ou dans la cuisine? Okay, so please react. I'd love to hear from everybody in these little reactions. They're pretty easy. D'accord. OK. Ouais, donc dans la salle à manger, c'est peut-être un peu plus formel, hein, et puis dans la cuisine, c'est peut-être un peu plus relax, un peu plus speed aussi, un peu plus vite, hein. On mange très vite dans la cuisine, peut-être. C'est simple, c'est simple. Alors que la salle à manger, c'est peut-être un peu plus formel, un peu plus posé dans la salle à manger. OK. Et tu préfères jouer ici ou ici? Peut-être jouer aux jeux vidéo, peut-être jouer aux cartes, peut-être jouer au backgammon, aux échecs, aux jeux vidéo. Tu préfères jouer où? Hein, et c'est quelle salle? OK. Donc tu préfères jouer au salon ou dans ta chambre? Je préfère ma chambre, OK? You're welcome to use practice pronunciation by using you can speak up or you can react. I give you the reactions. Dans ma chambre, d'accord? 3 personnes disent dans la chambre? 4 personnes? D'accord, ouais, donc presque tout le monde préfère jouer dans la chambre. OK, d'accord, intéressant. Ouais. Moi, j'ai une petite chambre. J'ai une petite chambre. Je préfère jouer au salon. Ma chambre est assez petite. Ma chambre est très petite. Je préfère jouer au salon. Hier soir, j'ai joué au Destiny 2, Destiny 2 au salon. OK, super. Donc, révisons très vite les prépositions. Les prépositions. And what I'd like is for y'all to put the prepositions in the chat from left to right. So on the left, you've got this one, and you know all 4 of these now. You got this one, this one, this one, and this one. So go ahead and please put those in the chat just to let me know how well you know these. Okay, bien. I got answers from about half of you. Great. Okay, hopefully you've got these. So we have devant, devant. I'll use these as illustrations. Une pomme, une tasse. Okay. La pomme est devant la tasse. La pomme devant. Okay, devant. Et puis on a derrière. La pomme est derrière la tasse. Derrière la tasse. OK? Et puis on a sur. La pomme est sur la tasse. La pomme sur la tasse. Et enfin, sous. La pomme est sous la tasse. OK? Sous. And I'd love for y'all to practice that pronunciation at home. So let's go together, and I'll ask you to practice at home on mute. Devant, derrière, sur, and really you can't see it because I've got masks on, but sur, you're putting your lips forward, kind of like kissy lips, okay? And then sous, you're making an O with your mouth. Sous, Okay. Excellent. Finally, we know about 2/3 of these ones. So go ahead and do the same thing. Give me the answers in the chat, okay? And I'd love to keep it moving. So if you could give me your answers quickly, if you don't remember it, it's okay. You can leave little blanks, but I'd love to hear from as many people as possible. If I can get 12 answers, I'll be really happy. Or 11, I guess. Okay, excellent. I heard from a few of you. Good job. Good work. Okay. And you haven't learned this one and this one yet. So I went ahead and put them in the chat. This is à droite de. Je suis à droite de la barre. À droite. Donc, voici la tasse, voici la pomme. La pomme est à droite. Does it look like it's to the right for you? Probably not. I forget how mirroring works. Maybe not. Okay, I guess this isn't going to help. À droite et à gauche. Donc, à droite de, on the right-hand side, okay, to the right of. À gauche de, to the left-hand side, okay? Donc, à droite de, and à gauche. Oh, that helps. Thank you to somebody in the chat who said, yeah, it's right. Okay. Okay. Donc, à droite, to the right, and à gauche, to the left. And maybe if you're dancing, you might use that. À la gauche, à la droite. OK? Ouais, très bien. Donc, d'abord, nous avons entre. OK? Entre. Je suis entre les mains. OK? Entre. En face de. OK? La pomme est en face de moi. La pomme est en face de moi. OK? Et puis à côté de, à côté, hein, la pomme est à côté de moi, hein, next to, okay? So it's very generally next to. What I gave you in the chat was specifically to the left or to the right of, but à côté kind of serves both purposes. À côté de. And you may know la Côte d'Azur, la Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire is a country in West Africa. La Côte d'Azur is a part of the south of France. So la Côte d'Ivoire, la Côte d'Azur. Azur is a beautiful tone of blue. La Côte d'Azur, it's on the south of France. Côte is like coast. Côté, side. Côte is coast. So that, if that helps you remember it all. Or maybe I'm just confusing you more. I don't know. OK. Et puis enfin, dans. Dans. Excellent. I hope those were all pretty familiar to you, and I hope that none of them came as a big surprise. So let's practice now. Let's go ahead and head over to Canvas and do Chez moi trois. Your friend is doing a drawing of your living room to show to your parents. Help them draw an accurate picture by describing where everything is. Basically, you're looking at a picture of un salon, and we're saying, okay, well, where is this? And you'll see it's underlined. Where is this? Where is the apple, for example? Où est la pomme? Où est la pomme? La pomme est devant la tasse. Okay? And it's multiple choice. So again, this is just a chance to kind of check in and see, okay, how are you doing with vocabulary? How are you doing with these prepositions? Okay? Allez. So I'll give you, let's do at least 5 minutes. At least 5 minutes, I'll check in and see who's done. And then if we can get everybody done, that would be awesome. But I know if a couple people might be kind of checked out. So we'll see. So that seems to often happen. Okay, so go ahead and complete that activity and I'll check in and we can go over some of it together. Okay, très bien, très bien. If you have not finished that, do finish that for homework, okay? If you leave, it'll save your progress and you can complete it another time. I really want to go over it now, but we'll go over it tomorrow just because I know that not everybody's completed it. It's a really great chance to review your vocabulary as well as prepositions. And it's also a great way to prepare for what I'm asking you to turn in on Tuesday, which is chez moi. Okay, chez moi. So as part of the end of this unit, I'm asking you to record yourself giving a brief description of the room of your choice in French. So it could be your bedroom, it could be the kitchen, it could be the basement. Maybe you've got a really interesting basement. It doesn't matter what room you choose, and it doesn't matter how long it is. Okay, so the length doesn't matter. If you're going for 5 minutes, that might be a little long. And if you finish in 30 seconds, I think that's really, you're probably cutting some corners. So the length of the recording isn't so important. Where you choose to, which room you choose to describe, not so important. What's most important is that you include a general description of the room using an adjective, kind of like what we did yesterday for the kitchens, right? There was the filthy kitchen that was almost triggering. Maybe maybe you have trouble with clutter. There was the clean modern kitchen. There was the dark kitchen. So to keep building on those, and we'll work on those adjectives a little bit tomorrow too, to see what you've found in terms of adjectives. And I encourage you to continue seeking those out. Some people made really good use of the Unit 2 vocabulary, like minimaliste, moderne, to use, and I think those work really, really well with describing rooms. 5 or more objects in the room. So the activity you just did was just talking about some objects, right? And you'll probably be describing where they are, right? So these kind of go hand in hand. As you describe objects in the room, you might say, okay, well, oh, and there's an apple in this room, and the apple's on the table. Okay, in French, of course. And then 2 or more activities you do in the room. There is a more detailed rubric to give you a really good idea of what I'm looking for. And I'll go ahead and share that now. So that's linked in the presentation. All right, this rubric. So you're going from maybe even novice high to intermediate low, if you're interested in those terms. This is the task. This is a description of the task. This is that checklist. Okay. And as with everything else, we've got exceeds expectations, meets expectations. So this is like 90%. Approaches expectations. This is closer to 80%. And then does not meet expectations. We're talking about 60%. Okay. So I would recommend most of you to aim for this, but it's your choice. If you want to go for 100%, awesome. Okay. But meets expectations is kind of, you're doing the thing. And so again, with rubrics, so task completion is out of 5, and then communication out of 13. Did you convey the message in French? Okay. And then comprehensibility. Were you understood? Would a sympathetic listener understand you? So not did you speak flawless French without any errors? No, no, no. No. But would you be understood? Okay. Because that's the goal. And so as with every rubric, it might be kind of overwhelming to see all these words. But I really want to encourage you to focus on the one that you're aiming for. So maybe you're aiming for meets expectations. The green column is all you need to focus on. And I color coded them, hoping it would make it a little bit easier to focus in instead of being overwhelmed with all the words. Okay. So for communication, you use descriptions, you use simple and compound sentences. An example of that in English might be the apple is on the table. The apple is on the table. That's a simple sentence. A more compound sentence would be there is an apple in the room. And you can say that. Il y a, right? There are. There is an apple in the room. And it is on the table. Shaky hand. There is an apple in the room and it's on the table. So throwing in a couple of those. I'm not expecting you to do a million of those, right? But having a few of those sentences where you're taking it a step further, making your communication in French a little bit more sophisticated. Okay. And then you're not using visuals. It's just an audio recording. Please don't send a video, just an audio recording. And I maintained interest via content, creativity, or emotions. So here, I'm not expecting you to have all kinds of sound effects in the background. Okay, you don't have to be an editor for this. Most important is that you're not speaking in a monotone, and that's important in communicating, right? We don't often talk about this, but if I tell you something and I am speaking like this and I am telling you this like this, it will be difficult to understand me sometimes. Sometimes it will be easy to understand, but sometimes it will not. That's right. So I just naturally do because I'm theatrical and I'm a teacher and I want to communicate to y'all. I use really exaggerated hand motions and voice. I change my voice quite a bit. I pause, things like that. Those are good skills to have. So I'm not expecting the moon. I'm not expecting you to go way, way, way above and beyond with this, but it's something to think about. And it's something you might want to do when you practice for your recording, because I would recommend practicing. And then comprehensibility. You use the vocabulary from the unit, maybe some other vocabulary from past units too. And you showed some control of prepositions and ER verbs. Not perfect, right? Again, it's not perfection, but you showed that, yeah, you can use them. And mostly comprehensible. And slowly, and there were some hesitations, but not a lot of them. Okay? So there you go. That's my quick run through of kind of what I'm expecting there. What questions do you have for me about this? When are you turning this in? Please put it in the chat or say it out loud. When are you turning this in? Ok, très bien. Si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas. If you have some questions, please, please, please get in touch through the chat, through email. You also have my Google Voice number on the Canvas website. You can always use that, okay? It might feel a little weird, maybe, texting me, but you can text me using that number. That's my work phone, okay? So please, if that makes sense to you, go for it. I'm always happy to answer questions. All right. I know that people don't go to office hours so much, so I just want you to know I'm gonna try to meet you halfway. So if you have questions. So again, turning it in by Tuesday, Tuesday evening maybe, and it's an audio recording using the Voice Memos app in your iPad. Okay, so for tonight, I've asked you to turn in this, right? And many of you have already turned it in. Thank you. For the rest of you, please, please turn it in. I want to encourage you to keep up with your work and not fall behind, because it makes it a lot easier as we get to the end of the quarter. So please turn this in, even if it's incomplete. Please turn it in, just so that it's turned in. Okay. All right. And so for tonight, you're turning this in, or you've already turned it in. And I wanted to give you a chance to ask some questions about one of these three images. So there are three different rooms. We did one room together, the bedroom, and then we've got, this is the bathroom, and there's a kitchen and a living room. And there's a bunch of vocab here that you may not know, but hopefully you're able to match by process of elimination. So in our last minute or so, last couple minutes, what questions do you have for me? Are there ones that were really tricky that you couldn't find? And you can put it in the chat if it was. Okay, bien. Hey, we can go over some of these tomorrow if you'd like. Ok, très bien. Donc pour demain, for tomorrow. Pour demain, demain nous allons nous entraîner pour l'enregistrement à rendre mardi. Et viens en classe donc et en décider la pièce que tu vas décrire. Come to class tomorrow having decided on which room you're going to describe. So again, it could be your bedroom, it could be your bathroom, it could be whatever you like. It depends entirely on you. You have your choice. Okay. So come to class having decided that. All right. And if you did not finish Chez Moi 3, I'll ask you to finish that for tomorrow too. Okay. I'll stick around if there are questions. Otherwise, à demain.
Thank you. See you later.
Au revoir.